afternoon, Rotarians. You can't hear me on this at all, can you?
What? That's why I'm going to see more.
I don't know how to work that. Yeah. Alright. Are you loud?
I can tell.
Alright, so I'll yell at y'all a little bit. I'm a little rusty, but I am so glad to see all of you today. It was real quiet at first. I was scared we weren't going to make people show up. So Tim is out today. Matt, would you lead us in our invitation, please?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Let's pray. Lord, thanks so much for this opportunity to just be out and about in this wonderful, beautiful county that we live in. I just ask you would give us each opportunities to practice service above self. Thank you for this food. Thank you for the day. And just thank you for the fellowship. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
You guys join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you may be seated. Do we have any visiting Rotarians or guests today? Dr. Short, you have a visitor today?
My son, Steve Short, is here with you. Very happy.
From last time, yeah.
Do you have any other guests or visiting Rotarians today?
I do. I'm gonna claim Courtney Snow over here. She ain't my guest, but
Always good to have you.
I don't know who's wrong.
I don't know. Two of us here next time. All right. Let's see. Courtney, you seem very full of yourself today. I feel like you do. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. You're also appreciated.
Yes. I'm happy Snow gave me $1 as my guest. But I didn't bring.
I'm happy that I remember to bring happy birthday. Happy for all of our guests today.
Happy to be here.
I am happy for all of the texts I haven't been receiving from the Rotary Fantasy Football this year.
And I'm just happy to be here.
Nobody congratulates me.
Is there a proper way to do this down the aisle?
No, we're just glad you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy that my number 2 applied to graduate college.
Hot dog.
Happy to hear from my boss man.
Happy to have share from my guests.
Happy to have a great crowd.
I'm happy that we are all ready for our cherry golf tomorrow.
Happy for this beautiful weather.
Six.
I'm happy about the beautiful weather too.
Right now.
Happy to see more members here today.
I'm happy that my 23-year-old daughter got a screw job.
Happy for great weather.
Beautiful ball.
Maybe I'm sure happy everybody's today.
And what does this do?
Good in the world.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
What is this doing? Confuses Courtney.
I'm just happy for the beautiful weather. All right. Any announcements from the club?
Are you going to announce?
I am. Tomorrow, Tim Martin usually helps out with the backpack, and he is not going to be able to be there tomorrow, so we need at least one more volunteer to help with backpack over at the district office at 9:15.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. They'll be done by 9:15. So please, if you can volunteer 20 minutes or so of your time tomorrow, please let Edie know they need at least one more person.
Just show up at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Show up at 9 o'clock. Any other announcements for the club?
You going to announce the grant?
The what?
The grant.
want you to go?
I'm happy to say that the Valley Foundation granted us $5,000.
And thank you, Edie, for always working on that for us. We appreciate it.
All right, I've got a couple things. So Duckers tickets, if you haven't gotten your updated tickets, please come see me after the meeting today. You should have tickets or coupons on the back for Moultrie and not Sanitary Market. We'll have a couple weeks to sell them, so get out and sell, and if you need extras, we've got plenty of them. And then we're gonna do our race on November 6th after the club meeting. So we'll have a regular club meeting, and then those of us who have time, we're gonna head over to the square, to the fountain, and we're gonna do the Duck Race there. Any questions? Oh, sorry, okay. I'm terrible at yelling. Sorry, Patty. The other thing is that the Rotary Club of Lawrence will have a tree in the Festival of Trees at the Lawrence County Museum. So if anybody loves to decorate trees and wants to be a part of that, let's meet after the meeting today, and then we can talk about ideas. Kathy already ordered a blue tree, so we're off to a good start. But we've got to have it decorated by the end of next week. So we'll meet after the meeting today. We want to be a part of it. Thank you.
All right, any other announcements from the club? All right, if we have no others, Miss Patty, will you come up here and introduce your guys, please?
I'm very happy to have Lawrence County Sheriff Don Reynolds with us today. He was my speaker last time I had the program, and it's not working. Okay, I can talk loud. Don was my speaker last time I had the program, and I learned something interesting about him. He grew up and was born in Cowpens, and my great uncle, Dr. Robert Crow, delivered him. So it was like, well, and he lives in Broompond community now, where my husband grew up. So I think you know a lot of connections. But he's been our Lawrence County Sheriff since 2016, and does a great job. We've got some of his compatriots here today. So please help me welcome Sheriff Don Reynolds.
Well, my week, hopefully y'all will throw water on me before I leave. Listen, that story about her uncle was pretty deep. I was born in Calvin, back when it was a drugstore. Her uncle was born, ironic, when she first told me that was her uncle, I thought, you gotta be kidding me, because my sister was born in Spartanburg, and I didn't get out of town. I made it back in the drugstore. That's where I was hatched, so that's anything wrong with it, that's probably what it is. You know, I know y'all have this every Thursday, and I know time flies, but we were talking a few minutes ago about time. And I tell you, when you get old enough, you realize how fast time really goes. When you start making payments, and you start taking medicine, 30 days is amazingly quick. And that's even got quicker for me. I started having my trash picked up. I put it out every Thursday. Every day is Thursday. It beats all I've ever seen. I mean, it just blows my mind how fast time really goes and how special things are. We don't seem like we have time to squeeze it and appreciate it. You can't hold tight to it, but you wish you could later on. You know, I grew up in a small town. Cowpens is not what Cowpens. They don't even have a high school now. We used to have a high school there. And US 29 runs right through the middle of it. So you've heard of a one-horse town, one-light town. We're one-light town. My dad was chief of police, and he worked very hard to get another light put up when you turned off to go to the high school. And I know how hard when you conversation, I heard him talk a lot of times. He finally got that traffic light put up. That's a big deal, because back then things were hard to get done. Believe it or not, the DOT, hell or not. But I can remember all the phone calls that got people having a fit and fussing because they had an extra light in there. And I'm a son of a gun, excuse my French, but I can remember, I bet it don't seem to me like it's up 6 months. They took it down, it's still a one-horse town. They took that light down on the U.S. highway, and I thought, somebody has coal power. When I got older, somebody has some juice somewhere to get that light taken down. But He worked so hard to get it put up. They didn't like it, they took it down. But I was blessed to be in that small town, and I didn't realize what a loving family I had, and how great a life I had. I was fortunate enough to spend 30 years on the highway patrol station, and I never realized how life really is for so many people across the places until I become a sheriff. And then I didn't realize, I used to tell people, I saw how people dressed, I saw what they drove over a period of time, that's how I associated things. And then when I become sheriff, I see where so many people go home and how neighborhoods are functioning with so many people fighting, and brother against brother, and it's sad, you know, the condition that children's environment is so many times, and the broken system, DSS, and I know every time I say this, I figure I get some eyes at my works at DSS. The system does not function real well. I don't know what's a lack of passion, or what the heck it is, but it just does not work very well for the benefit of children.
Amen.
You know, my grandpa told me, now I say this to build up to something, I don't mean to be insulting here. My grandpa told me when I was young, there are two kind of people you couldn't get mad at, son. And I don't remember what spurred that in him at the moment. But he told me doctors and lawyers. Doctor and lawyer. I didn't get him. I said, well, wow, I was really curious. Why couldn't I get married to a doctor and a lawyer? And he said, well, they're both practicing on you when you go to them. So if they don't do you no good, how are you going to get mad? Well, the reason I say that is a grace. I mean, it's a joke, but it's practice law, practice medicine. I understand that. And it's just a burden. But these guys work in this office with me, this man here, and this woman there, and the chief policeman. They don't chuckle. People don't chuckle too much about a joke about them. They don't practice. They don't practice law. They try to enforce laws, and they have to react on moments. And sometimes they could have done a little better, maybe. But then again, that's Monday morning quarterbacking. That's opinion. They face the worst of the worst. I mean, law enforcement. When I went on the highway patrol, I seen a lot of changes. It's not to say that they're good people. They've always been good people. But people's genuineness or passion or their consciousness has changed somewhere along the way in a lot of ways. People are unhappy now, you know. There's a lot of stress in the world. We talk about mental health. I don't know how to measure that. People tell me I'm crazy. I know that's not the weed. The point is, if people hunt, just like people ask me, they'll say, how's it going, Reynolds? Well, and everybody hears this every day. Well, it wouldn't do any good to complain. Wouldn't nobody listen. But that's so wrong, because I'm not saying there's not things that I would like to change or I think needs to be changed. But there's a lot of difference in that and having something to complain about. Because I don't have anything to complain about personally. You know, this sheriff's office, we touch everything that happens in this county. And I'm not going to give you any numbers, no stats. I'm just going to share some thoughts with you. This sheriff's office literally touches about everything that goes on in this county. People don't realize that. Whether it comes from locking yourself out of the house, out of your car, to your child takes you back in the car and take you to school because she's went back in to get her purse and now the kid won't put her back in the car to take you to school, to somebody's stole money on the line from them, to broke in the back door, want to serve a paper on somebody, your school safety. I mean, it goes, it's just so broad. That's why I try to tell the county council that this office is not really better than anybody. It's just a call, it's just a lead. This sheriff's office is the foundation for the safety of this county. And really and truly, too many of you politicians don't remember this, but the safety of this county is really their number one obligation is safety, personal safety. You know? Just like the nation, the president serves this country with support and protect this United States. Well, this sheriff's office protects this county in one way or another. We're here to protect property, but it's people first. So the budget demands, the resources we have, it's incredible. I saw in the paper yesterday where the Greenville County Sheriff is $12,000 more per deputy. He asked for 12% last year, they gave him 6% increase. You can't give but so much, it's mind-boggling numbers, but the point is, there's such a demand out there for safety. And this world gets worse, we're blessed through this area, but this world gets more and more dangerous every year, every day of every year. But we're blessed through this area for the respect we receive. And I thank God above for the 30 safe years I spent at the Highway Patrol, and it's humbling to have been the all-sheriff tonight here. And I tell you what, He's blessed this office for our sake. But there's a danger right here and now. I don't know whether, and I know this isn't church, but it's coming from the heart. Everything starts with the heart. And Doc, it ain't just a heartbeat, it's how you. You know, we get so fast-paced, and everything becomes so centralized, whether it's sports, or whether it's the new car, or everything's centered on materialistic things. We've forgotten about the family, and we've forgotten about the core purpose of what we all supposed to think about. And that's, you know, the good Lord and the family, and be safe and enjoy our lives. But it's turning. I don't know where we need to have a meeting with Jesus, because it troubles me, because I see the court system's terrible. My captain just called me yesterday having a fit because we got kind of bundled up on some calls 2 days ago, so he actually wanted to call himself. He literally catches the guy, this didn't happen yesterday, this happened like 3 months, 4 months ago. He literally catches the guy breaking in the building. He's in the building, he catches it, which is not always just be that fortunate. Catches it. We found out yesterday, and this is not his first time, which it usually is. He understands they turned him out. He ended up time served 134 days. That is why these terrible things happen over and over. You get worse and worse, as the little boy said. Because they do not put the consequence on the people that should be put on them. There was no, it boggles my mind that we are fortunate enough, and you know, nothing ever matters unless it stings one of them right between the eyes, so to speak. When the shoe's on the other foot, it doesn't feel as tight. But if they're stealing your stuff, or hurting you or your loved one, that's when it becomes so relevant. But the reason, when you're growing up, I needed to whoop me till my mama said stop sometimes. And I'm glad she said stop, but you know when it didn't kill me? Hurt it. But let me tell you something. We've got to get back to understanding there's guidelines. I tell my guys, the curbs on West Main Street, those concrete curbs, you know why they're there? Keep me off them people's front porch. Because after a while, everybody's going to be a little further over this way, a little over that way. Everybody needs a guideline. Everybody needs boundaries, so to speak. But we get caught up in all the stuff instead of basic stuff. All the frills instead of what really hits us hard. I get told I don't smile enough. I tell folks I smile on the inside. I don't smile on the inside. I get told I stay at 8. Well, maybe I do, but I'd like to see some more 8s sometime, to be frank. That's what I tell my guys. They have a whole bunch of things to find another 8 or 2 sometime. Because people go as far as you let them. People will just get as lax as you let them. Very few people are self-driven. Except maybe the CPW. I guess all them people. But I truly am. I just, the school system, we worry about the point. It's so much responsibility. You got all these schools, and I know the school people, I know y'all catch addicted because you're trying to keep people safe, you're trying to keep people on point, you're trying to explain what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. But you can't have eyes on everybody all the time. There's so much goes on. And kids now, a 12-year-old now is incredibly smart. But unfortunately, they've been educated in the wrong thing. I'm a cornball guy. I'm a cornball analysis guy. You know, I realized as I got older, I realized where most of my education comes from, where a lot of children's education comes from, you don't ever realize it. Because when you're out in the yard playing, and aunt and uncle, grandpa, grandma, so, you running around 20 chairs, chasing a ball, and you hear something said, you say, what do you say? You never mind, go play. Well, you remembered that. And you hear something related, and you ask questions, and little by little over your lifetime, you get more education than what you ever realize. But there's no more playing with children. Children don't play anymore. Oh yeah, they think that they played 3 games yesterday. They do not play with one another. They don't learn relationships. They don't learn how to relate to one another. They don't have. You think about it. Disappointment is one of the best teachers in the world. Losing is one of the best teachers in the world. Children don't even, you know, as old saying goes, now they get a trophy. What is really you're trying to achieve? I mean, we all adults. I tell my guys every day, hey, we've grown up with a grown-up job. Just slow down. Well, we all adults. We need to face the truth. We just need to put a little more time in our thinking and a little more time into our effort or whatever really matters. Because these parents bring these kids up, they always want me to talk to them sometimes, and it breaks my heart. But I had a woman just this past weekend made me feel good. She told me that she thought my son really taking a different direction this time. And that's great because he's been doing terrible. But there's not enough conversation in the world. It doesn't matter what kind of, whether it's the children or whether it's race relations or whatever. Everybody wants to just react. I quit doing it. I used to do it just for doggone meanness, I guess. Lord forgive me. I used to tell people about prejudice, and it tear them up, because I'm going to tell you something. I don't like Burger King fries. I love McDonald's fries. And everybody gets hung up on a word and don't really look at the heart of what their actions really are. So you can play word games, or you can push and shove and play it. And I told you I was going to share some thoughts with y'all. Y'all may throw water on me before I get out of here. But no, you know, if we don't take the time, everyone does, we're not going to come out where we need to come out. And that's in anything, whether it's family, community. I walk my dog every day up down the road I live on. Twice a day, a lot of mostly. And I think out of 10 neighbors, I think I talked to 3 of them. I'll never see the other 7. And it used to not be that way. And I'm one of the most suspicious people in the world. I'm to a fault. I'm a very suspicious person. Maybe they're suspicious about me too. I don't know. I'm smiling enough. But doggone it, you know, I guess I just, mental health, good gracious alive. This man back down there, he tried to keep that jail balanced out there. That is a temporary holding facility to go to court. It's what a county jail is. It's not a prison to have educational programs. We don't have the means to inject medicines into you to calm you down, to keep you tearing your hair out of the top of your head. But yet we get time mental people, they've done a criminal act. And they're physically assaulting. They're attacking one another. They attack our guys. I wish somebody could help me. How do you maintain order like that? When you've got some guy 6'5" that's mean enough to take us all on at one time, much less with his mental state. And you're trying to keep him safe, and everybody around him safe. And he sits in your county jail for 300 days, 400 days. I didn't end up staying in the county jail at all. 600 days. Because they keep putting it off to go to trial, to come to some conclusion, to adjudicate the case. And you're sitting there in the meantime trying to figure out how to keep life in everybody needs to stay. It's an ugly situation. The mental health problem is terrible. I know that in the years past, they did away with some facilities that were adequate for what it's supposed to be. If not, it should have been brought to standards, but to completely do away with it, what do? There's a time and a place for everything. And you cannot take criminal actions by even somebody that's having a capacity that needs help. There has to be a mechanism in place to secure these people. You can't just send them back home. Let me go back to the criminal. That's like putting You catch a guy that's broke in your house, he broke in your house, he broke in your house, and you keep letting him out on bond, you put an ankle monitor on him. Well, that's going to keep him breaking in the next one. No, you just don't know where he is when he breaks into it. And that's exactly what happens every week. I mean, this is insaneness. I thought the description of insanity was doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. Somebody could talk to some of our judges and lawyers that help society a little bit. It's just terrible, and it's not, you have to laugh those things, go to keep crying. But I've watched this a long time, and I never realized, until I become sheriff, highway patrol I didn't see. I never realized how much the system works against victims. There's so much time, enormous time spent on a defendant. I won't say thug, I just said it. How much time is spent on them to negotiate some kind of sentence. But they no time ought to spend on the victims. Sometimes the victim's not even aware when the defendant has gone to trial. There's been times when we find out after the cases. We just spend time on the wrong things because if we hold the defendant more accountable, some of this stuff will slow down. My guys chase them into Greenville County, theft rings. They finally get their hands on it, put them in jail. 3 weeks, everything's just as calm and quiet. Gosh, it's good. But I've been listening to them on the radio chasing one guy forever. They finally get him. Whew, for the fifth time sometimes. Well, then he gets out on bond, and guess what? It goes start. The process starts right back over again. That's just, and victims, people, good people in society, they're the ones paying the price. That's like scams. You know why scams work? They attack old people on scams. You know why? Because older part of society, I can raise my hand big time, always been responsible. You've done what you're supposed to do, and they'll call these kind of people up. And they react on the phone and won't stop the noise, so they'll respond to them, and then they're going to call the police. Well, it's too late then. Call us first and tell them to take a hike, you know. So, you know, between the sheriff's office for answering calls for service, between the worry of the school safety, between the courthouse safety, the courtroom safety, serving of warrants, serving the process, civil papers, securing evidence, metal permits, sex registry. Lord, don't check your computer on the sex registry. All of you want to go to sleep at night and sit in the living room with the light on. It's nuts. It's nuts. But it's a beautiful day and it'll be Christmas pretty soon. We'll start all over again come January. I don't know if y'all on the program, I'm going to tell you, well, I'm going to say one more thing about the red-eyed monster. I just got to sit and know that. I don't have any pet lovers I've got in here. I love my dog. Lost 2 or 3 and got one I'm going to spend my lifetime on it. But that's a red-eyed monster right there because this thing didn't happen just a little bit. It's been a long time. And people call us every day and people want to fight over the stray dogs in the neighborhood. But please understand something, please. If it's a perfectly healthy dog, it's friendly, probably you fed it a time or two, and that old gunner did, and this guy across the street did. We have the gills all the time. If we pick that dog up perfectly, then we're going to destroy it because mentally and physically, because we're going to put him in the environment we're going to put him in. That's what happens to that dog. And the other downside of it is, you're taking away needed space to put a sick animal ashore up or a dangerous animal. So it's such a two-bladed sword there. It's just, that is a terrible thing. I've got a young lady up there now that she's done so much with that thing. I am so blessed to have her like I am all the guys that roll their sleeves up to go to work. But that is animal control is a monster because all those pets, after all they want is somebody to pet them on the head. Good boy, that's all they want. That's all they want. That's all they get. But if I could make everybody do right, I would, but not. But it's just a small percentage. So bear in mind when you're hearing all this crime going on, it's a lot of it. Most of the time, it's repeat offenses for these people. It's not somebody just stepped off the beaten path like that. It's people that have been out here terrorizing society for a while. So anything that this office can do for y'all, more than glad to do it. That's what we exist for. This is y'all's sheriff's office. I was fortunate enough to be the sheriff, and I've been very proud of it. I'm proud of these people that work at the sheriff's office because it's a job, and I see it in some of these guys, it's a job. But most of them, it's a calling and it's a commitment. Because it gives them a bad attitude, and I worry about that a lot of times. So they see the worst of the worst, they take their home to the wife and kids. They see some terrible things, and it's hard to turn it on and off. They pay a big price. Law enforcement, they expect to know a little bit about everything. How to treat a wound, how to talk it down here, maybe whatever emotion you're hung up in. Expect to protect you from harm. I mean, they expect a little bit of everything. It's really unfair to them, but that's what they choose to do. They raise their hand and they do their best. And that's all I ask them, that they do what's right, do the best they can. That's all you can ask them. I'm sure there's somebody in there to go back to work, so I don't know how long I'm supposed to talk. But I'll tell you something, I do think you do for them. And I'm about, you've heard the expression, country come to town. Country's in town every day around here. And I'm proud to be here, proud of Lawrence County. When I first went on the highway patrol, I went to Graydon County. Any of y'all ever been to Darlington? It's amazing. They sent me to Darlington County. I never have been out of California. Look, I think it sent me to England. I would have been a little lost. Low country people eat dinner, eat fish, everything different. Before you go that way, it's kind of unique, and I never realized. But their courthouse is in the middle of the square. You know, we go around. It's amazing. I thought, I got here. I want to go back to Spartanburg. I offered to put me in Lawrence County. And I finally got here, and I stayed here about 2 years. And Sarge said, I'm going to get you back to Spartanburg. I said, I'm going to be honest with you, Sarge. I think I'll stay here. I don't want to go back. So fortunately, everything worked out very, very well. So, I thank y'all for this opportunity. I'm going to read these programs off. They give any of y'all. We have Christmas for kids. I know you're all aware of that. Family assistance, that's one thing we started, but sometimes, can't get real deep into the weeds. We do the best we can. Somebody needs a medicine ball for them or a grocery or something in a really hard way. We've had folks out with that before. Project Lifesaver, that's people that, we put the bracelet on you. We got a little mechanism to, it's not a babysitter. You can't go to the mall and be gone for a while. Or come home and it's going to tell you, you went out of it. We're not going to know. So, for some people, they can't even work their garden. They have to put them in the car, pull the car with the garden, and work in the garden so they can monitor the wife at the windshield. Sad. Some people live like that. Now, for that individual, he goes to take a shower, she's out the door, that they call us, give us a scent, and the dog hit the ground, put the dog down, and they can take us in the right direction, and we can go with the meters, and we help us get the right direction, back it down with it. So, and we also have what is this, a scent, I said scent, I forget all these, the Scent of Hope kit, and that's a jar that we take and swab to maybe get parts of the body, maybe under the arms or whatever, to get a scent, keep it in that jar. So if this situation arises and when it gets there, bam, we good to go. We get the scent a lot quicker. And it's all kind of, and just like the left, the special needs registry. That's if you've got an autistic child, or if there's any special issue we need to be aware of before we get there. You can tell the dispatch they have the CAD system, so when they dispatch the deputy to the house, he already has the knowledge ahead of time that the issue that he's going to be facing. Fear to freedom. And a lot of these kids live in a lot of situations where they're in domestic situations where they need help. They need some clothing in their special articles. They handle with care. That's if we go out to a scene of a domestic and we make sure that our SRO notified the school to make those teachers aware that this child's been involved in a very traumatic thing, kind of keep extra watch on that child so if there's something not functioning right, that they can attendance go up and realize that this child may be a lot more needy than we realize. So, the SOS, that's what one of the things that Project S, that's a senior outreach service. Courtney, she goes around a great deal to people, and every people lives in this county don't have a relative in 3 states. That's sad. They don't have anybody to reach out to. People that have loving families or great friends long term, we take things to heart, but we don't realize just how many people there are people out here that can't hardly make it for themselves. They don't have a dog, so not a soul, not a relative, not a friend, not a close. She goes to visit people that means the world to them. She puts on luncheon for them. I don't know exactly the time frame on that, but I always enjoy going to see the smiling faces, because that is a big deal. It should be. So if any of those programs, any of those programs, you need somebody to help out them, sure they can let us know. So, I'll see you cups raised. God got you.
Anybody have any questions for Sheriff? Bill?
Well, I thank you, and I pass it on to my guys.
I was gonna say that, they've got programs in Greenville, they have volunteers who ride with deputies around the county. Do we have anything like that?
Thank you very much. We're always glad to have you here with us. I think everyone else really enjoyed it today too. Before we dismiss, does anyone else have any other announcements for the club? Nope. All right, so the last thing I'm going to mention is that today is actually, tomorrow is actually World Polio